Okay, how's it going, everybody? Today I'm going to talk about King Louis XV signed documents that are for sale. Summary is that there are tons of them for sale on eBay, and the prices generally range from about $200 to $1,000. They appear at major auction houses. And the big revelation is that most of them are not actually signed by King Louis XV. They are secretarially signed, so they're real documents, but they don't actually, they're not actually signed by him, and they're not authentic, and they fool everybody. So first thing I'm going to do is we're going to look at some real examples of King Louis XV's signature. So this is a real example, and the first thing I want to point out is how he forms his O. So you can see here it's almost like an E, and then he completes it. So it's very elongated, but the line comes in to the O. So that's a trademark of his that he always did. Now here's an S, and that's another thing to look out for. It's very elongated, and you can see there is no loop up here. So elongated S with no loop. So here is another authentic example, and again you can see the O, and it comes in, and then he finishes it, the elongated S, and everything is kind of leaning to this side, although the secretaries tended to do that too, but this is something that they didn't do, so that's something to watch out for. And not to belabor this, but this is another authentic example where you can see the O and the elongated S. Okay, so now this is the majority of what's for sale on eBay, and this stuff is secretarially signed. Now, in fact, if you look at the document, you can actually, the secretary is actually telling you, hey, King Louis didn't actually sign this, because they sign down here and then they draw an arrow up into the air, which is basically telling you this over here is not signed by King Louis XV. And you can see it's different. The O is not formed the same. There is an elongated S there, so you do have to be careful. You can't just look at one little thing. You have to combine it all together. Another dead giveaway is these three dots here, which he never did. And when you see the three dots, you know it's not real. Another thing that's interesting is that what he does is generally is when he underlines his signature, it's just a straight line. And when you start seeing these like these loop-de-loops here, no good. So here's another example, and this is also for sale on eBay, and this is secretarially signed. Again, you have the secretary signing it down here, and you have the loop up to the secretary's signed signature, and again, this looks nothing like his authentic signature. You can see there's the O is complete. It's not like how he does it. You have the loop-de-loop here. The S is not the same. Okay, so now you have to be careful, because just because there's no line going up to the signature doesn't mean it's done by a secretary. This is also done by a secretary, and it's a very good secretary sign. It fooled me at first. I thought it was probably, oh, maybe this one's real, but it is not. And because you can kind of see the O there, it looks like it might be a little bit done like his, but ultimately it's not. The dead giveaway is the S. There's kind of a loop in there. It's not elongated like how he does it, and then you kind of see the underlining, which is done in more of a circular fashion. So this is for sale on eBay right now. There are 16 watchers, and I'm sure there are 16 people who are saying, oh, I'm getting a document that's signed by King Louis XV, but it is actually not, in my opinion. So how do you tell if a document is in fact real? Well, other than going through and looking and making sure the signature matches up, this is a good way. You can see that there are two signatures on this document. You see the secretary one, where the secretary signed and pointed up to the secretary signature, and then King Louis XV came in and he signed it himself. Now these are very rare. This one is for sale on eBay, but it is very expensive. But let me reiterate, these are not what you normally see. A lot of the ones you see, I would say 90% of the ones that you see on eBay and even in major auction houses are not this. You just get what's over here. So the bottom line is be careful. He didn't sign a lot of documents, and you will find that also with King Louis XVI. I can do a video on that. His is more overt, because he signed this big, huge signature, and the secretaries couldn't replicate it. But King Louis XV one is a little bit harder, so just be careful. Thank you.